Ladies and gentlemen, it is the one, the only Johnny TCG coming at you with another video. Today's video is brought to you all the way from Mexico City, Mexico. Despite being out of the country, I am committed to bringing you the off-meta content you desire. Who doesn't want some Red Purple Kid content? This isn't going to be a big deck breakdown. I did that in a previous video. A link to that in the description and the comments below. This isn't my final kid deck list. I don't think it's perfect yet, but I do think it's a good starting point to try. Today's video, we're going to be doing a best of 3 against a Blue Doflamingo player. Blue Doffy debatably becomes the best deck in format once the new starter decks come out, so it'll be interesting to see how this matchup goes. Before we get to the gameplay, you know we have to do a custom Don giveaway. Today's Don is Boom from the One Piece Colorwalk series. I am not the original artist. I am not selling these. This is just a fun passion project. If you want to win it for absolutely free, all you got to do is 1, leave a like, 2, leave a comment, and if this video gets 20 likes in the first 24 hours, I will send it to one random US-based commenter. Nobody wants to hear me yap anymore. Thank you all for the support. Let's roll the gameplay. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the matchup you've been waiting for. The matchup that will define the OPO 8.5 meta. Just kidding. No one has asked for this matchup, but we're going to see how it goes anyway. I am on the odd curve. I'm stealing it from them. I don't have a turn 1 play, but I will definitely have a turn 2 play with that Porsche. They're going to go 2 Peronas on their first turn. That is not ideal for them. Having to do 2 setups is not great. They do put that next setup on the top of their deck and then they pass it to me. I'll start out with the Porsche. I draw the Tony Chopper. Now I have to decide whether or not I want to play the Pudding, Chopper, or Bond Clay. I decide to go with the Bond Clay because it will help me ramp, and then it also will be a good swing into them next turn if they do leader ability or just play out a 4-cost 7 Warlords of the Sea character. They're going to go 7,000 with leader, playing out the Jinbei and Edward Weevil off the Jinbei. Then they're going to do another Perona search. This seems not great to me. I'm not going to question them, though. They're going to do their thing. We got the 9-drop Kaido off of our life. If we can get to 9 Don, that card will put in a lot of work. Hopefully, we'll be able to prevent them from going wide. I think we have a good chance of preventing that because we are going to be able to swing 3 times into that Jinbei if we need to. First, we'll go 5,000 with Porsche. They'll give us the 2K. Now we have the option of maybe playing down another Mr. Tube on Clay. We could play down a Charlotte Pudding as well. We could even play the Rush Monkey D. Luffy from Starter Deck 1. Maybe I'm just talking crazy. We're going to go 7,000 with Bond Clay into the Jinbei. They give that to us. With our remaining 4 Don, we are going to play another Mr. 2 Bond Clay and swing with leader for 5,000. We're not going to use leader ability just because we want to get to 9 Don so we can play the 9-drop Kaido. They do take that hit. A very nice play for us. I am really happy with how this turn went. 2,000 into the Mr. Tube on Clay. Unfortunately, we got to let him go, but he did his job. He ramped us a ton and got a swing off. What more could we want? Now, they're at 6 Don. We could see a 6-drop Boa Hancock here. Could freeze our Mr. Tube on Clay. They would then probably swing into our Porsche with both their leader and Edward Weevil. We could also see, that's not what I was expecting either, 5,000 with Perona into my Porsche. I think we should counter out of this. I'm not exactly sure, actually. They are just probably going to swing big with Weevil and their leader into it to get rid of it, so I'm not sure if it makes a ton of sense to keep it alive. And so we'll let her go. R.I.P. Now, they've got 3 Don to work with. Still got a leader swing. Still got an Edward Weevil swing. They might even throw 3 Don on Perona and swing at lead as well with her. They'll start 6,000 with Weevil. We'll give them the Black Maria 2K. I don't want to go too crazy down in life right now. 7,000. We are going to take this one, though. They play out the Jinbei into Gecko combo. That is great for them. We'll take that, and we actually get the Monkey D. Dragon. That is the perfect card to draw into right now. We are going to put a lot of pressure on them this turn. I believe the order should be... I think I should have swung maybe with Bon Clay first into Jinbei, copying Weevil's stat line, and then played Monkey D. Dragon. Instead, I do Dragon and then start my swings. I don't know if that's correct. That probably is wrong, but I don't think it makes much of a difference in the end anyway. They counter out of the first swing onto Weevil and then let it go after the Dragon swing. It is going to be hard for them to deal with my board. A 6-cost Boa would probably be best for them right now. Develop a body and freeze my Monkey D. Dragon. They will have swings on leader with their leader and Gecko. They're going to swing 2,000 at Bon Clay. Gotta let them go. They are in a position to potentially Red Rock the Dragon. We'll see what they do. 6,000 into me. I might 2K counter out of this just because I don't want to have to take a leader swing as well if they swing big with leader. So I'm thinking I give them the 2K Sanji. Now they're going to go 6 with leader. I think we just take this. We get a chopper blocker. And for 6, we do see the Gum Gum Red Rock. RIP Dragon. That is not the end of the world, though. I like where we're at. I do think that if we played out Charlotte Puddings and Tony Choppers this turn and then waited till next turn to play the Monkey D. Dragon, I don't think that would be crazy. Just because if we can keep the Puddings on board, it'll help us regain Don from our Kaido play. I do decide, screw that though. Let's go with the big body, and I will play out the 9-drop Kaido from starter deck 4. Now we're just going to put a lot of pressure on their life. We could use leader ability here, but we're not. We want to let our Don go back up a little bit and hopefully use the Rusher Monkey D. Luffy. They are going to counter out of my 5,000 swing with leader, and they will take the 10,000 swing from... So I guess they used the Gravity Blade Raging Tiger trigger, but didn't hit anything. I'm confused as how that got in their trash. That must be the case. For 6 Don, they're going to play out Boa Hancock to freeze my Kaido. That is not ideal. They are then going to swing 8,000 with their leader. I have to take that. Now we're in a little bit of a weird spot. I could go Sanji into Porsche into Tony Chopper. I don't think that's a bad idea. I could also just do maybe double pudding. I'm going to start out with the Chopper blocker. Then I'm going to go Porsche, -1 Don. I can search up another Porsche, which is just a card to trash with Gum Gum Jet Gatling, I guess. And then play out another Chopper. This ramped me 2 Don this turn, so that's not a bad deal at all. I think that the Tony Choppers are just as good, if not better, than the Sanji in this situation, because either way, they would get removed by a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, and they did help me ramp Don, and Sanji's a 2K, so I think the Sanji was better off in my hand, even if I could have cheated it out for 3 Don. We're going to get rid of their Mihawk and pass. Now let's see what they got. If they have a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, that's not great, which they do. But it's not the end of the world. They're going to swing 7 with their leader, and we can get out of this if we want to. I'm thinking we do Gum Gum Jet Gatling and then Porsche. We could also do Sanji and Pudding. We'll go with the Gum Gum Jet Gatling and trash the Porsche, getting out of that attack. And then we will block the Boa swing with our Tony Chopper blocker. Now for 8 Don, I'm not 100% sure what we should do. I'm going to cheat out the Sanji for 3 Don. I think that is the move. While I don't like getting rid of a 2K from hand, I do think it will be valuable because I can't go for lethal this turn. Or even if I did, it would have been very unlikely. I'm going to do my best to get this Boa off the board. 12,000, that gets rid of her. Now I will play out one of my Charlotte Puddings. I will use leader ability, and so I'll swing for 7, and I get that Don right back from Pudding. That is great. They're going to take the 7,000 swing, and now it's possible I can go for lethal next turn. They will play a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger to get rid of my Sanji, but that is perfectly fine. They just spent 7 Don to get rid of one character. They're going to swing 5,000 at me, and I will give them the Bond Clay 1k counter. They're going to play Doflamingo 3-cost blocker and set the top or bottom of their deck. This isn't really a big deal. We just need one of our swings to go through, really, between our leader and Kaido. And then we can play Rush Luffy and hope for the best and make it unblockable. 10 Don, we top deck the dragon, and I think that might even be the move too. I don't think we can go wrong either way right here. Depending on what they do with the DOFFY blocker, they're going to let that attack hit. Now we can go leader swing and then rush Luffy. We could also play down dragon. I don't think we could go wrong either way. I'm just going to start with 7,000 with leader into their leader, hoping that they give me counter. They do, and that will secure the game. We'll give all of our Don to starter deck 1 Rush Luffy, make it unblockable, and that is GG's. They want the rematch. I'll give them the rematch. That was a good one. Now, this time, they are going to go first, so I'll be on the even curve. We do not see a Porsche in our opening hand. They're going to play down the 1-drop Perona and set the top of their deck. That's not a great sign for us. We had 2 Don, and we could have played Chopper, but I don't see the point in doing it, so I declined to play it. We do nothing. They're going to swing 7 and play out the Edward Weevil off Doffy leader ability. That is not ideal for us. They are off to a hot start. We did top deck the Porsche. I'm thinking maybe we go Porsche into Chopper here. We'll do Porsche, draw Porsche, and then play out Chopper, getting that Don back as rested. Now we'll swing 7 into the Edward Weevil. We will use leader ability, which sets us back a Don, but we are trying to get that Weevil out of their hand. Going for life there just didn't feel good. If anything, it's just another resource for them to use, so I did not feel like that was the right play. They'll start with 6,000 into me. That means we probably will see a Jinbei play next with their remaining Don. I would have to give them a 2k to get out of this, and I don't want to, so I'll take that and see what we get. Now they're going to swing 6,000 at me with Weevil. I will give them the 2k now. We get out of that. What 7 Warlords of the Sea character are they going to play? Put your guesses in the comment section down below. The anticipation is killing me. We are going to see the Jinbei and a Doffy combo. Not the worst combo in the world to see, but will be annoying nonetheless. I'm thinking that we will probably have to swing 5 into their leader and then play Eustass Captain Kid blocker and then swing into Weevil and use leader ability. We'll see though. We're going to draw and get the Tony Chopper. I actually decide to play out the Porsche, minusing 1 Don. We do find a Chopper off of our search. We send 3 dragons to the bottom of our deck. That's not great. And then we're going to play another Tony Chopper off of the Porsche. We are able to ramp a little bit. We're going to play another Chopper, ramp again. Now we've got 3 Choppers on the field. That is kind of silly. We're going to swing 7 with our leader into their Weevil. They will block out of that hit, which I would have expected a counter. Now we'll swing 5 with Porsche just to get a hit on life. I don't know if that was necessarily the right thing to make my Porsche rested and now open to attacks from the opponent, but I wanted to put a little bit of pressure on. they're going to swing another 5 with their leader. They've got 7 Don, so they're probably trying to do Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. I don't want them to clear my entire board with it, so I am just trying to counter out of the swings that I can. I might let this one go through. Either way, if they do Gravity Blade Raging Tiger now, all I will be left with is a Tony Chopper on board. Not ideal, but at least I was able to keep one blocker on board. Now it's time for the Eustass Captain Kit, I think, and then I can do leader ability, get that Don back as active. We're going to swing big into the Weevil, want to get that 6,000 swing off the board. They let it go, and now we'll pass. That was a pretty quick and simple turn. We've got a Don left up, nothing to do with it. We do have the Kid and Killer. If we can ever get them to 2 life, that will come in handy. But right now, it is kind of slow and steady. Another Gravity Blade Raging Tiger would be pretty brutal for us. They're going to start with the 5,000 swing. We will happily free block that with our Eustass Kid blocker. Now 7,000 from their leader, Jinbei and a Gecko. That is a good play from them. I think we should 2K out of this. Am I crazy? Call me crazy in the comments below if you think I shouldn't 2K out of this. But I think 2King out of this is not the worst idea. They'll probably throw down a Boa and prevent my Eustass Captain Kid from attacking, which is fine. Which is exactly what they do. I can see the future. A Gravity Blade Raging Tiger next turn would definitely hurt and put them in a great position because there's no way I'm going to be able to clear their board. I'm just going to use Ragnarok to get rid of the Boa Hancock. I guess our best option here is just to try to clear one of their Jinbeis. We'll swing 9,000 with our leader. Hopefully they'll give me that. They do. And then for 2, I'll play down a Tony Chopper blocker, get a Don back as rested, and then I'll leave one Don up for Radical Beam, even though it's not technically active yet. Depending on how this turn goes, I might need it. I don't have a lot of counter in hand. They've got 3 swings at me. I do have 3 blockers, but Gravity Blade Raging Tiger could get rid of those real quick. I'm going to free block with Kid, of course. That's what I'm going to do. We'll take that Gecko swing for 5,000. They're going to swing 5,000 with their leader. I wonder if they're going to play a 10-drop Kaido next. I'm debating on what to do. I will give them the Charlotte Pudding. They do play down the 10-drop Kaido. Look at all those cards in hand. I think it's over for me. How am I supposed to clear board? When you're able to get down a 10-drop blue Kaido, when you're already in the driver's seat, it just is impossible for your opponent to catch back up. My opponent here has a wide board. They've got a ton of cards in hand now. There's no way I'm really going to be able to deal with this. I am thinking, do I play down the Kid and Killer? Do I swing with Eustass Kid? I decide I will swing with Eustass Kid, 6,000 into their Jinbei. Even though they'll probably have something for it, they do. Now I'm just going to play Kid and Killer, swing again into the Jinbei. Maybe I should have just added a bunch of Don to my Kid blocker and swung to make them give up a lot of cards if they want to keep the Jinbei alive. That maybe would have been a better option. Now I've got a Kid and Killer on field that they are just going to be able to pick apart. I left one Don up for the Radical Beam, but realistically, this game's not looking good for me. 7 Don for Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. They are just going to decimate my field. They just got rid of 3 decent bodies. 5,000 into Kid and Killer. They got that. 5,000 at life. I'll block. 7,000 into Leader. Should I use Radical Beam? I don't even know. I think at this point the game's over. I the writing's on the wall. They don't even bother swinging with the 10-drop Kaido. I'm not sure if that was intentional or a misclick. It's over for me, though. I am just going to play it out, see what we can do on this turn. But, ladies and gentlemen, the writing is on the wall. It does feel so bad when the writing's on the wall when you're on the wrong team, but when you're on the right team, when you are on the other side, it does feel so good when, even if you don't have lethal this turn or your opponent can continue to fight on to the last breath, but they're just in a position where there's no way they'll ever be able to win. Now 5,000 with their leader. I am going to counter out of that. I'm just kind of being a silly, goofy boy, but really I should have just conceded because I got nothing. We do concede. That was very obvious that we were going to lose that match, and we'll rematch them. This one is for all the marbles. We've got it all on the line here. My dignity, my pride. I put my YouTube channel on this match, so if they beat me, I'm going to have to give them my YouTube channel. That's the kind of dedication and belief in myself and hubris that I have. I'm just talking out of my butt. Don't even listen to me. If you're listening, if you made it this far into the video, you are a real one. Shout out to you. Let me know what other leaders you want to see me play in the future. We're on the odd curve. We are going to do Porsche into Tony Chopper. We love that combo. And then I'm not going to swing with my leader just because I want to preserve some Don a little bit and not go too far down. 5,000 with their leader into me. We'll take that and get the Bond Clay. Then they hit us with the pudding. We hate to see that pudding, but honestly, the hand we got is not that bad at all either. We do see the dragon, and we love to see dragon. We'll play a pudding. We'll play a Porsche, not find anything, which is unfortunate, but we can play out a Heat or a Charlotte Pudding. In this situation, I'm thinking that maybe pudding is better. We'll be able to use leader ability to put more pressure on our opponent, and then we get that Don right back with pudding's effect. Sounds good to me. I'll go for it. They're going to take the 6,000 swing from Porsche, no trigger, and then we're going to swing 7,000 with our leader, return a Don, get a Don back. Will they counter out of this, or will they take it? They'll take that. I wonder if their hand is bricked or if they're just down for accumulating cards. We saw last game that when they had such card advantage, there was just no hope for me of clawing back. They do a blind leader ability swing there into my Porsche, and I block out with the Tony Chopper. I guess that was a little greedy of them. They could have played out the DOFFY blocker before doing the leader swing, but I wonder if they were looking for maybe a Jinbei or I don't know. I don't know why they didn't just play the DOFFY blocker first. Moral of the story, though, is misplays hurt, and yeah, now we're going to play out another Porsche, our third turn in a row playing a Porsche. We can't draw anything off of it, though, which is okay, but we are going to play a Heat, get a Don back from Charlotte Pudding. Now we are going to just swing into life 3 times, one with Porsche, another with my other Porsche, and then going again with our leader. They are taking these swings. I kind of feel like, am I being trolled? I'm not sure what their deal is. We're going to go 5 with our leader, and they're going to take that. Maybe they're just doing a crazy strat where they're going to be able to have a bunch of cards in hand and counter out of any of my swings, because I'm not going to be able to swing very big. I'm only going to be able to swing wide. Interesting thoughts. They are going to do Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, getting rid of my Heat and my Porsche to the bottom of the deck. That's not great, but we are going to be able to save our characters this turn. We are going to counter out of those swings to keep our Porsche alive. We are going to push for lethal here. I think the writing is kind of on the wall. Even if we cannot successfully get lethal this turn, we'll start out with 5 from Porsche. have to give us a counter. They give us the 1K pudding, another 5 with Porsche. Do they have the counter? I imagine they must. I think it's statistically impossible for them to have no counter with that big of a hand. I'm debating on if I should go Dragon first, and I will, because I will swing big with our leader. 8,000. They might have to block out of this. We'll see what they do. They are able to counter out of that. So now we'll go 9 with Dragon into their leader. They block. But alas, we're in a great position. 10 down for them. I was going to say a Kaido wouldn't be the worst play ever if they can draw some counter. They red rock the Dragon, which is good for them, but will it be enough? I don't know. They'll swing 5 at one of my Porsches. I will counter out of that with Bon Clay. They'll swing into the Porsche again. I have to give them that. No counter in my hand. And then they will play out another DOFFY blocker. Depending on what we draw here, this could be GG's. We get the Mr. 2 Bon Clay. That is not amazing. We may still play it out. We will start our turn by going 9 with Porsche into their leader. Once they block with that DOFFY blocker, it'll signal to me that they don't have the cards in hand to get out of the attack. They are going to counter out of this one, though. At least they're not going to block. They've got 2 2Ks and 1K. All right. Now it's time for our leader swing. We can give him 2 Don and then still use his ability, getting us to 8,000 power. Do they have the counter to get out of an 8,000 swing? They do not. I can be a little risky here. I'm just going to throw it all on pudding and swing for 8. They don't have it. That's GG's. Best 2 out of 3. I do not have to give the channel up. Yeehaw. Those are the games I got for you today. What did you think? This was a really fun matchup to play. I think that Blue DOFFY is only going to get better once the new starter decks come out. And if you're playing against it, you got to be ready, you know? It's interesting to try different leaders against it. Maybe see if we can find any ones that really have a good matchup into it. I don't know if Red Purple Kid really is the best leader into Blue DOFFY, but it was a fun experiment at least. That's all I got for you today. Thank you for watching. This has been Johnny TCG out.